water.
Well, shoot. Well, let's go fast so we can finish this out. Well, see the. I'm just playing.
It's a long wait. You got everybody?
Now you want to start pulling out.
Yeah. A little Rucker action.
County in the house.
Questions?
So the theme looks like playmakers. Why has it been such a prominent position for you guys to attack in this draft?
I mean, really, this was an opportunity, really, with both these guys tonight, but especially at the top of the draft tonight, able to get what we thought was a top 20 playmaker in the draft, and exciting weapon, and someone that could really fit in our backfield and our scheme with what we have going. So, and then to have that long wait and have Jeremy still on the board and be able to get him in the room with the guys we added and the ability that he brings, it was an exciting opportunity.
Why did you have to move up, Joe, to get Hall?
Yeah. We had a suspicion that there'd be a team that could take him. He wouldn't make it all the way to 38, so we worked the phone lines, tried to make a small move to get up and make sure we got our guy.
Did you try to, last night, move up to the bottom of the one to get Hall?
Yeah, we were active. We were on the phones towards the end of the round.
Joe, I remember when you first took over as general manager, I know we talked about Sam a lot, where it was you wanted protection of playmakers for the quarterback. You obviously still have a few more rounds left here in the draft, but do you feel you've accomplished that now, that you've given and provided your quarterback protection of playmakers?
I feel like we added some really good pieces to the offense and added two really good pieces to the defense too, but with making sure that we protect them with the line of scrimmage and add quality tight ends, quality skill guys, quality backs. Feel like we're trying to build a strong, balanced team, not just offense, but team.
What did you like about Jeremy? Made you take him?
With Jeremy, first he's a really tough-minded individual, great teammate. He's a guy that's willing to sacrifice for the team. He's a dynamic athlete, and he's a dynamic weapon in the pass game. But he wasn't always the number one option at Ohio State. But he was a guy who was willing to do the dirty work to help his teammates as a blocker. Guy that really committed to helping his running backs at the point of attack, and he gets after guys at the line of scrimmage. But he can also get open against safeties and create separation in the pass game. He's got excellent ball skills, and he's got some run after catch too. So, probably not as showcased as some of the other top tight ends, but still we thought a dynamic weapon.
Joe, what were some of the things, skills that stood out with Hall for you? Where did he lie you?
Yeah, with Bryce, I mean, it starts with the high level of production. He was one of the top players in the entire conference, and the thing that jumps out with him is he's a home run threat. He can score from anywhere in the field. Excellent elusiveness, excellent balance through contact, and also another guy that can be a weapon in the pass game. Really natural ball skills, and he's a tough tackle in open space. He's one of the more elusive backs. We feel like we have one of the more elusive backfields right now with him, Mike, Tevin, Ty. So good group.
Robert, when you look at this offense as a whole, and you kind of look at the weapons that you have at receiver, now the trio of guys at tight end, the running backs, is there anything else you think you guys need to get for Zach? Like, is there anything this is missing, or is now just take the next step?
I don't know about that one. You're always going to try to add, obviously, and mix and match. It's really coming down to developing these guys. It's a very young group. There's a lot of new faces with the group, but at the same time, it's just a matter of developing, quarterback developing with the skill guys, and finding ways to get better every day. So it's kind of a cliche answer, but it is what it is. Joe and his staff have done an unbelievable job bringing in some new faces, and our job is to develop them and continue developing the quarterback.
Robert, how is, with the two tight ends you signed in free agency and now getting Rucker, how did their skills complement each other, and how do you see that room?
Yeah, CJ, start with him first. Obviously, he's a fantastic inline tight end, can do some of the dirty work. He's got speed to run some of the high crosses and all that stuff. Conklin, you see him more of a, he can do both first, second, and third down, but on third down, winning those one-on-one matchups and running concepts that beat man coverage and all that stuff. And you had Wesco with his physicality, and now you had Jeremy, and he's going to have a chance to kind of grow in this offense and develop and take a little bit of everybody, because he has the ability to block. He has the athleticism to be a guy who can win on third down. So he's going to develop nicely too. So it's a really cool, dynamic group. There's a lot of cool pieces there, and it'll be fun to see how they kind of shape and what kind of roles they take as we go through OTAs and training camp.
Joe, with
I
the
know
trades, you now have, I think, just 2 picks tomorrow, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've heard all along about the depth in this draft and how there's going to be value in the middle rounds. Did you have any reservations about, losing those picks tomorrow?
No reservations in losing those picks. We wanted to be aggressive in terms of the guys that we really liked at the top of the draft, and as it sits right now, it's going to be a quick day tomorrow with those 2 picks early in the 4th. A couple of you might be excited, but still a great opportunity, and looking forward to getting the 2 best players. If we don't move, 2 best players, we can help this team.
Joe, I know these final 2 picks kind of just for, they're probably still fresh, but have you thought at all about how much this offense has changed from the one that you inherited in 2019 to now? Like, I actually don't know if there's a starter left from that first team that you were looking at now to how much you've kind of changed the overall outlook of it.
Yeah, I mean, I know the focus early was trying to get the O-line better. Feel like we've added some good pieces through free agency, through training camp acquisitions, cut down acquisitions for a guy like Braxton. Really when we've talked about the 3 different avenues, trades, free agency, draft. Feel like we're in a better place now than we were, but still always looking to improve wherever we can.
Sorry, with Rucker, he missed a lot of the pre-draft testing and stuff, right, because of the foot injury? Like,
Yeah.
I think at the Senior Bowl, right? Is that when it first started?
He was with us. He practiced with us for the early part of Senior Bowl.
So to what, I mean, is he still injured now? Like-
So we feel really good about where he's at. Not expecting him to miss any significant time, especially when the pads come on.
With Rucker, you guys have talked a lot about how the Senior Bowl is a unique opportunity to get to know players. Can you guys both address what the Senior Bowl did for you in terms of scouting Rucker to really getting to know him?
All right. So for me, and I know Robert has a different perspective, how many Senior Bowls were you part of?
This is my 4th one.
4th one. So
A lot of rebuilds.
yeah, I've never had that kind of access before, that kind of behind the scenes aspect or experience with the players, and for me it was outstanding, because really, if you think about it, after the college season over, this is really the last time that these players do anything football related, because after the Senior Bowl, it's all training, getting ready for the combine, underwear Olympics type stuff. So for us to have this time with all these college all-stars in really their last football setting, in the meetings, on the practice fields, going through Indy, watching these guys compete, how are they focused, how competitive are they? Are they locked into the message that Coach Middleton and the coaching staff did a phenomenal job, but to really get a sense of kind of what they're made of, how important this game is. That was an invaluable experience for our staff, I felt.
Yeah, it's just to piggyback on it. You with the combine you can hide, your pro days you can hide, your 30 visits you can hide. You can kind of put on a show, but there's nothing like going into the meeting room after a practice where it's high stakes for these kids, and you're with your peers and you're being told you did something wrong, to see the response, to see how they come out in practice, to see how they come out and compete. And it's a lot harder to hide during the course of a week, especially when the adversity is real and they're thinking about what they just put on tape for all 32 teams to watch. And so as it pertains, I know he didn't get to practice the whole time, but just the interaction that we did have with him and all that stuff was tremendous. You get so much knowledge and so much access mentally to these kids that you don't get just by going to the combine, because what you're feeling is what you're seeing is authentic in those meeting rooms.
Take a couple more.
We saw in San Francisco, under Kyle, it seems like there's a different leading rusher every year, and they're constantly adding to that position. You guys liked what Michael Carter did last year, adding Hall, is that sort of, do you share that philosophy that they had there, or just kind of keep adding to that position?
Absolutely. It's the opportunity to add Bryce, kind of a unique one in the sense that he is explosive, and like Joe just mentioned, that group is pretty explosive. Our group is pretty explosive now between Michael, him, Tevin Coleman, Ty. Really excited to see what P. Ryan looks like in his third year in Austin. So it's a really, really cool group to work with right now. And adding Bryce and Michael's such a hard tackle. I mean, the guy never gets tackled by the first guy. Bryce just has a slipperiness to make people miss. Tevin runs his absolute tail off. Ty's a really good third down back. Just a really cool group of guys. And but to add someone like Bryce, who is a home run hitter, who can take it, I mean, the part of the goal was to add some guys that when they touch the ball, they can take it 80. One of the hardest things to do in football is to live in 10-play drives. And to be able to have a couple of 1 or 2 play drives every once in a while will be welcomed.
Along those lines, Joe, I don't know what Rucker's 40 time is, because the other guys all have crazy 40 times. Was that something coming into this draft you felt like speed was an emphasis to get this team faster?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to be a faster team, and so that's obviously one of the prerequisites you're looking at. Like I said the last time I got with you guys, you're looking for unique and unusual people, because you want as many freaks on the field as you can, but these guys also have to have the baseline integrity, love of the game, competitiveness, passion, drive, so that they'll reach whatever ceiling they have. And with the guys that we brought in, we feel like they meet all those requirements from a physical and character perspective.
Andy?
You guys have obviously added some explosive weapons and explosive guys on both sides of the ball, but also you added a lot of depth this offseason in a lot of these positions like receiver, cornerback, tight end. Just how important is that depth as time goes on, like as the season goes on, in terms of getting to where you want to go, and how important is that to being consistent in terms of having the results you want to have?
Yeah, I mean, we want to have as much depth as possible. The last few years here, our depth has been tested a lot, and something that we're working on improving. And but at the same time, injuries are part of the game. It's a cost of doing business in this sport, and so you need depth all across your roster at every position. And again, we feel better about where we are now, but we can always be better.
Will you consider trading these 2 picks tomorrow for something next year?
If the right opportunity came up and it made sense for us, we'll see how it works on the point charts. But yeah, we're open to anything.
Hey, Joe, a quick one on having 3 first-round picks, and this is a problem for way down the road, if it is a problem. Talented players all coming up at kind of the same time for a new contract. What, as a GM, you're thinking now and down the road. How do you look at that?
Those will be happy problems.
Yeah. Champagne problems, buddy.
Those will be happy problems for us. Like, again, things you keep an eye out on the horizon. Maybe putting a couple pennies in the piggy bank for future contracts here and there. But again, having Dave Sosi, Nick Sabella, we have a great football admin team, and they do a great job of keeping their eyes on the horizon in that front. But if all these recent first, second, third round picks and hit, and we're having to make some tough contract decisions or pay these guys, it's going to be it's not going to be it's not going to be a hard thing. We'll be happy to do it and have homegrown guys.
Joe, you touched on Rucker maybe not being showcased as much as some other guys, and obviously Ohio State had a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
You drafted one. How did you get comfortable kind of with the lack of production there from him? And how did you kind of evaluate that?
Yeah, I think when you did see the flashes, they were really impressive. If you look at the playoff games they were in the last few years, he made some big time plays against big time opponents, and you saw the ability to stress defenses vertically, to separate the top of routes against some pretty good safeties. Big catch radius, one-handed catches. Really dynamic athletic movements in the passing game. So even though he may not have 100 catches in the year, you saw the flashes to say, okay, this guy can do it. And then you also saw the flashes at the line of scrimmage with him sticking his face mask into a defensive end and grinding and working his tail off trying to help his teammates. So you saw those things to say, okay, this guy's made of the right stuff.
He's an absolute bulldog in the run game. Awesome.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to join the Zoom.